The Indian space program touches every Indian in all facets of their lives. Their work, their food, communication, drinking water, their education, weather forecast, disaster management, telemedicine, and many more. Decades ago, the sleepy village Tumba near Thiruvananthapuram rose to glory with the ascent of a small rocket from its shores. This first launch of sounding rocket marked the dawn of space era in the country. Launch of sounding rockets for scientific studies continues unabated. Advanced technologies are for the benefit of common man, said Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. Isro has fulfilled the promise set by him. The rocket launching station at Tumba became international with the dedication of turls to UN. But rockets were to become more and more Indian over the next few decades. Several hundreds of Indian-sounding rockets of the Rohini series were launched from Tumba. They replaced rockets from other countries. We were mastering rocket technologies slowly but steadily. Small payloads for probing the atmosphere transformed into small satellites. Aryabhatta, Bhaskara, Apple, and Rohini marked the beginning of establishing large constellations of Indian satellites, the INSAT series and the IRS series. SITE, Satellite Instructional Television Experiment, was unique in many ways. It was the proving ground for the effectiveness of satellite applications. India was perfecting its space systems, rockets, satellites, and applications. The rare distinction of being a spacefaring nation came with the successful launch of SLV-3. A small launch vehicle by present standards, SLV marked a technology milestone.
1, 0.
The nation took pride in the feat and in Isro. Augmented Satellite Launch Vehicle ASLV was a test bed for a host of new technologies. Lessons learned from 2 unsuccessful launches paved the way for later successes. The mighty Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle was getting perfected, and so were the launch complex and ground facilities.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
DT pressure is now 3.63 bar.
3, 2, 1, 0. Lift off normal.
With the first successful launch of PSLV, the country was on the threshold of becoming self-reliant in space transportation systems. Except for cryogenic systems, PSLV has embedded in it all technologies crucial to space transportation systems. Optimizing the vehicle design resulted in higher payloads. PSLV stands testimony to Isro's mastery in launch vehicle technology. Successively successful launches, polar, GTO and sub-GTO missions, multiple vehicle configurations, multiple satellites, extended strap-ons. No wonder PSLV is called the versatile workhorse of Isro. The perfect recovery of an orbiting capsule launched by PSLV proved many technologies and materials for re-entry and created ground for future, more complex space missions. Can you see our tricolor on the moon? Chandrayaan-1 is the pride of every Indian. It was a PSLV XL that lifted the Chandrayaan-1 satellite to the heavens. The mission established the presence of water on the lunar surface. Heavier satellites and more ambitious missions, Isro needed mightier vehicles for space transportation. GSLV provided the first step. A 400-ton, 48-meter vehicle with 3.5 stages, the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle is a giant in its own right. GSLV launched INSAT-4CR from India's spaceport in Sriharikota, an enviable distinction of having the complete wherewithal for space transportation. The indigenous cryogenic engine technology developed for GSLV has been perfected. Our march towards a 4-ton class satellite in GTO is not far. The GSLV Mark III will be a worthy successor to our array of launch vehicles. The large S-200 solid motor and the giant liquid stages have been tested and perfected. The concept of reusable launch vehicles will soon be tested in a series of technology demonstration flights. Propulsion technologies are keys to space transportation. Air-breathing technology for rocket propulsion is being pursued by all spacefaring nations. We are not behind. Technology development for space transportation continues unabated. Semi-cryo engines for future vehicles, technologies for human presence in space, and the ultimate single-stage-to-orbit vehicles are also in Isro's plans. Even as it pursues advanced research in space transportation systems, Isro remains committed to its primary goal of bringing the fruits of space technology to the common man.